Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to my April reading plans. I am so excited to share what's going on in April and we're going to start these April reading plans off with actually a read-along announcement. Now, if you follow my community page or my Instagram, you probably already heard about this, but I'm officially announcing it in this video. Starting in April and going through March of 2023, me and some of my friends are going to be doing a SJM-Along. So we are going to be reading all of Sarah J Maas's books in publication order is the plan. For the most part, there are a few little tweaks, but we're going to be reading her books in publication order in order to pick up on little clues that may give us some answers about certain revelations that came to us at the end of House of Sky and Breath. So I'm going to quickly announce when these are happening. They're going to be a very slow, it's going to be a very slow read along, just because, again, we don't want to rush through this and we want to spread them out, hopefully leading up to whenever a next book will come out. We don't have a release date for that book, but usually it's in the beginning of the year. We don't even know which book for sure is coming next, but we're going to make our way through it. So I'm going to announce which books we're reading each month. You can follow the graphic I'm going to show, and then we'll get into what my TBR is. So we're going to be reading Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight in April, as well as two of the novellas. We'll be reading The Assassin and the Pirate Lord and The Assassin and the Healer. We're splitting those up, even though you could read those all at one. We're going to split them up as we go. There will be a live show on the 16th and on the 30th, and they will be on my channel. I'm not going to say when the live shows are for the rest of them because we'll get to it as we get to it. But then in May, we will be reading Heir of Fire and A Court of Thorns and Roses, as well as The Assassin and the Desert. Then in June, we'll be doing The Queen of Shadows and The Assassin in the Underworld. July, we'll be reading A Court of Mist and Fury. In August, we will be reading Empire of Storms and The Assassin and the Empire. September will be A Court of Wings and Ruin. October will be Tower of Dawn. November, the first 2 weeks of November, will be A Court of Frost and Starlight. Then for the rest of November and the first part of December, we'll be doing Kingdom of Ash. We did this to kind of fit our way around the holidays in there. Then January 2023 will be A House of Earth and Blood. February will be A Court of Silver Flames, and March of next year will be A House of Sky and Breath. I have many booktubers and bookstagrammers who will be helping me with this. The first two live shows, I will be hosting them, but then the rest will be kind of split up among us. So it's going to be awesome. I will have a link to the Discord for our book discussions. I will have that link down below. If you want more details, you can find it there, or check out the post that is in my YouTube community page. So that being said, the first books that are on my TBR for April are going to be Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then the first two novellas in The Assassin's Blade. So I'm extremely excited. I have not even touched the Throne of Glass series since I finished Kingdom of Ash when that came out. So I'm very excited to go back to these books and see what we can see what clues and information we can dig up, and I hope you will want to participate, whether you're doing a reread or reading for the first time. We have a pretty good amount of both. We have both people that they're first timers, and you know, this is their umpteenth reread of it. So then my other book club is, of course, Rake Appreciation Society with my best bud and big sis Crystal, and we are going to be reading Topaz by Beverly Jenkins. I will read the back of this one real quick. So this says, Kate Love is an ambitious young newspaper reporter on the trail of a railroad stock swindler who has been preying on elderly blacks. Her investigation points to Rupert Samuels, one of the wealthiest and most eligible black men in the East, but her covert efforts to get close enough to uncover the goods on him bring her to the brink of becoming his wife. Snatched from the Altar by Dix Wildhorse, a black sommelier marshal from Oklahoma's Indian country, Kate has no choice but to flee with the daring knight her father sent to rescue and wed her. Marriage had never been part of Kate's plans, and she isn't about to abandon her career to become the dutiful wife of a Wild West lawman bent on wrapping her in his own protective cocoon. Determined to hold onto her independence despite the dark simmering fire Dix's bronzed, muscled embrace ignites. Wow, Beverly. Whew, words. She challenges him at every turn, yet even as their battle of wills intensifies, the heat of their passion blazes with unmatched fury, a wildfire of love that can only be answered in the sweet ecstasy of surrender. So I'm so excited to read this book. I love this cover, so make sure you read this if you want to join our discussion for Rake Appreciation Society. Then I have my new releases and arcs, so books that will be coming out in April, and or I have an arc that I will be reading for them. So we have some fun ones. We have Bright Like Midnight by J. Wolfe. This comes out, I believe, April 7th. I already have an arc for this one. This is the next book in her Savage You series. So this is a new adult, like, college romance. Then there is Torched Spades by Cora Kenborn. This is the first in a duet. It's supposed to be a mafia duet. I actually don't know too much about it, but I think this one is with Valentine PR, or it might be Wildfire Marketing. I'm not sure. I just thought that the covers looked really cool, and I thought I would give this one a try. So I actually don't know too much about it. Let me see if I have This is going to be the Marchese Empire duet, is what it's called. And it's a forbidden enemies to lovers, dark mafia romance. So I guess, like, the heroine has a PhD, and he is a self-confessed arsonist who needs help controlling his urges. Damn, that sounds amazing. All right, then there is Blame It on the Vodka by Fiona Cole. I don't know for sure that I'll have this arc, but I did ask for it, and I'm pretty interested in it. This is going to be the third one in her alcohol series. Caution to the Wind by Gianna Darling. This is going to be book 7 in the Fallen Men series. Very excited. It's going to be a best friend's dad romance. Very excited. Madman by Onley James, book 5 in her Necessary Evil series. Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate. This will be the second book in her Salacious Club series, and I am over the moon. I am so excited to continue this series. I loved Praise, which I read in March, and I immediately signed up for the next one. And then Toxic by Maggie Cole, which will be starting her Mafia Wars New York series. I'm so excited. So those are all the ones that I currently am excited for. As usual, there are usually more arcs and things that will come up as we go, but those are the ones that I'm committed to for sure. So then I have 5 books that are viewer recommendations. I have a book rec form that you can get to through my link tree down below. You can recommend me a book, and every month I try to read between 5 to 10 of them. And the ones that I picked this month are Control Freak by Brianna Hale. I will actually have a physical copy of this very soon, but it's not here yet. I've read a few Brianna Hale. I go either or with them, but I believe this one, the heroine has an eating disorder, and I believe that, like, BDSM is kind of going to help be a healing aspect for that. So interested to see. 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. This was recommended by Tori. I believe this is a fighter or MMA romance. That's all I need to know. Scarred by Emily McIntyre. Actually already owned a copy of this one, so I went ahead and picked it. This, I believe, is inspired by, like, The Lion King, and I think this one is probably an enemies to lovers. Let me find it. But I saw the cover of the next one, and it's going to be like a Wicked Witch one. So yeah, so this one is, there was a king who passed. He left behind 2 sons, one beloved and one an outcast. The older of the 2 was set to take the throne, but before he could, he had to find a queen to call his own. The younger one was known to be unruly and unhinged. The chosen queen was warned to keep away from him. Beautiful and cunning, in the light is where she stayed, but late at night it was the shadowed lands in which she played. Mistakes were made and secrets forged, forgetting duty and her sense. And while the new king had her hand, her heart belonged to the scarred prince. Whoa! Excitement. This says it is a dark royal romance, and it's one of the standalones within the series. So I didn't hear super great things about Hooked. I know some people loved it, but quite a few of my friends didn't. But I really want to try this one. So I've kind of stayed away from reviews of it because I want to try it no matter what. And it happens to be one that's recommended by you guys. So we put it on the list. We put it on the list. Then there is The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. I'm only too happy to read this one. It has been recommended to me many times. Also, Jessin from Jessin Reads Romance did just read this one, and she really loved it. And the second book in this series comes out soon, too. I've heard this one has one of the best grovels ever, and I really believe it. I believe that Run Posey Run has a very good grovel in it as well. It's kind of a unique grovel, but I really liked it. And so this one is, I believe, our heroine, because she's a werewolf, but she's like a latent one, and so she hasn't transformed ever really. And she also has, I believe, a limp or a leg that is shorter than the other. I don't know. I know there was something where she has a physical disability in that way. And when the new alpha, when it's discovered that she's his mate, he doesn't believe it, and so he sends her away, and then he realizes she was really his mate, and so he has a groveling to do. That's what I've heard, and I heard it's really good. So April is going to be the month that we get to it. And then the last one that was a viewer recommendation was He is Poison by K.A. American. And I think that this one, let me check before I speak too soon. Let me grab it, because I have my computer over here to read the, come on, where are you? Here it is. I believe this is a gay mafia romance, but let me double check. It is. It is. Okay, so this one is a gay mafia romance. And this one has been in my recommendations for quite a while. And I love gay romance. I love it. And I love mafia. And I've only read one other gay mafia romance. So I'm here for it. All right, then we have my TBR tin, which I don't have nearby, but I have my cards picked already and my books picked. So we're going to go through those. My TBR tin has prompts that was given to me by viewers. So this one was, read a book about fae or fairies. And this is from Nicole Viscoglossi. And for this one, I've been wanting to try this series, The Fae Chronicles by Amelia Hutchins. So I've actually read the books in the spin-off from this series, but I really wanted to do this one because I was gifted all 5 books in this series, and I really want to read it. So the first one is called Fighting Destiny, and I'll read the back of it. Have you ever heard of the old Celtic legends of the Fae, the beautiful, magical, and deadly creatures that have a love of messing with humans just for kicks and giggles? Welcome to my world. What started out as a strange assignment led to one of the most gruesome murder mysteries of our times. My friends and I are set and determined to find out who is killing off Fae and witches alike. Couple of problems in the way. I hate the Fae, and the Prince of the Dark Fae is bound to determine that I work for him. He is rude, overbearing, egotistical ass with a compulsive need to possess, dominate, and control me. Oh, did I mention that he is absolutely sex on a stick gorgeous, and he makes me feel things that I never ever wanted to feel for a Fae. Every time he touches me or looks at me with those dangerous golden eyes, he seems to pull me further in under his spell despite my better judgment. My friends and I can't trust anyone, and nothing is as it seems on the surface, not even me. So I definitely want to read this. I'm not almost a huge, those other books I read by Amelia Hutchins, I didn't quite know how to feel about, but she did write very sexy and compelling books. So I want to give this a try. The audiobooks, I believe, are on AnyPlay, so I'm going to give them a go. Then I had Book with a Man in a White Shirt and Tie on the Cover, and this is from Renee S. Now this one I picked also is a viewer recommendation, so it was like a matchup for me. But I went with Mafia Mistress by where is it? Sorry, my computer doesn't like me. Here, by Mila Vinelli. Recently, both Tori and Jessica loved this book. I had actually already had it on my radar, and then they both loved it. And so when I do these prompts, I didn't explain. They're supposed to be books that I already have, either physically or on my Kindle. And so I had already grabbed Mafia Mistress, and so I went with this because the hero has suit and tie situation going on. So that's going to be for that one. Then there is a book I've owned for a year or more. And so for this one, this book seems super silly, and I've had it forever because I got it for free when I first got it, and it ends up being on my Kindle forever and ever because, you know, that happens sometimes. And this book is called The Cowboy's Forbidden Crush by Deborah Garland. And I believe this is, so this one is, I'm a teacher and I have rules about sleeping with my students. I don't go there, never. But I wasn't prepared to be challenged like this. There's only so much a man can take. So Dr. Walker Rhodes, DMV. So he's a vet. Rule number 1, I don't do relationships. Rule number 2, I don't sleep with the vet students in my class. So Emmeline Phillips waltzes into my class, and rule 2 lands on shaky ground. Could I? Just this once? She's smart and beautiful with long blonde hair I want to wrap around my hands. Those haunting caramel eyes will be my undoing. Emmeline licks those cherry red lips when she thinks I'm not looking, but I'm watching her every move while I wait to make her mine. Graduation day. As soon as we are no longer teacher and student, I will get her in my bed and keep her there until she leaves this small Texas town to chase her dreams. She's got plans that don't include me. Perfect. I'm not looking for anything long term. I just need enough time with her to satisfy my needs and get her out of my head. As long as I don't break rule number 1, I'll be fine. So, there we go. I'm excited. I've had this one for a long time, and I'm in a cowgirl mood, so here we go. All right, then I have read a book with 2 men cuddling on the cover, and I am only too happy to read this other book that I just recently had grabbed, which is called Clean Start at 47. This is an age gap, gay romance, and it is a man who was in a straight presenting relationship for a very long time, and now he's going to be starting over, and he wants to get healthy and get his act together. He also used to, I believe he used to do drugs too, and he lost his job because of that. And now he's also come out as a gay man, and so he has a personal trainer who's 20 years younger, and he's falling for him. So I'm guessing that it's going to be 27 and 47 is the gap. So this cover, they're kind of cuddling, they're not fully, but I really wanted to pick this one because I had just got it on my Kindle, so we're gonna do that. And then the last one that was a prompt was Free the Nipple, read a book with a half-naked person on the cover, and this was from Book Terror. And this fit perfectly because I want to do her wanton wager. There are definitely some man nips on the front of this. So this is book 2 in the Mayhem in Mayfair, and I really enjoyed the first one. So this one is a wager she can't afford to lose. When her brother falls into the clutches of a gamester Gavin Hunt, feisty heiress Persephone Fines will do whatever it takes to save him. Hunt offers her an outrageous proposition. He will release her brother if she can resist 6 nights of seduction. Can she withstand the scoundrel's wicked charm and the shocking desire he rouses at her touch? So, I'm excited. Those books were really sexy, and most of the audiobooks were on Anyplay. Then I just have a couple books from my list of authors I want to read this year. I made this as a goal where I have this list in my planner of all these authors that I want to read in 2022, and I'm slowly checking off some of them. And so I picked some books from that list. So The Devil to Pay by Liz Carlisle. I've read one book by Liz Carlisle and I want to read some more. This one is By Day. Oh shoot, it's like covered up. I don't know. By night, she is someone altogether different. The notorious Black Angel, so called for her lusciously located angel tattoo, ruthlessly takes from powerful men who exploit and gives to those who suffer at their hands. Always in disguise, she has eluded capture and her identity remains a mystery. The Marquess of Devonville, one of the least noble noblemen in town, uses and discards women as he pleases. But when the Black Angel entices him into her bed, ties him up, and pilfers his most valued possessions, she may have gone too far. This time, Devlin tells her she'll have the devil to pay, and he definitely means to collect. So, I'm actually excited because the plot of that reminds me of the Lucius and Hermione fanfiction I recently read. And I like it. In Your Wildest Scottish Dreams by Karen Rainey. This one is 7 years have passed since Glynis McKeon made the foolish mistake of declaring her love to Lennox Cameron, only to have him stare at her dumbfounded. Heartbroken, she accepted the proposal of a diplomat and moved to America, where she played the role of a dutiful wife among Washington's elite. Now a widow, Glynis is back in Scotland, though Lennox can still unravel her with just one glance. Glynis is no longer the naive girl Lennox knew and vows to resist him. With the American Civil War raging, shipbuilder Lennox Cameron must complete a sleek new blockade runner for the Confederate Navy. He cannot afford any distractions, especially the one woman he's always loved. Glynis's cool demeanor tempts him to prove to her what a terrible mistake she made 7 years ago. As the war casts its long shadow across the ocean, will a secret from Glynis's past destroy any chance for a future between the two star-crossed lovers? Oh, that was a tongue twister. And then the last one that I want to get to is The Art of Sinning by Sabrina Jeffries. And this one is, at St. George Club, watchful guardians conspire to keep their unattached sisters and wards out of the clutches of sinful suitors. Whoa. Which works fine, except when the passionate rogues are members themselves. American artist Jeremy Keane refuses to return home and take over his father's business. He much rather sample bevies of beauties abroad. In search of a model for the provocative masterpiece he's driven to paint, when he meets Lady Yvette Barlow at a London wedding, he realizes she's perfect for his work and determined to capture the young heiress's defiant spirit and breathtaking sensuality on canvas. No stranger to scandal, Yvette agrees to be Keane's subject in exchange for his help gaining entry to the city's brothels he knows intimately, so she can track a missing woman and solve a family mystery. But when their practical partnership leads to lessons in the art of sinning, will heartaches from their troubled past keep them from finding a bold and lasting love? So there we go. Those are the books I plan to read in April. Make sure you check out the links down below for the things that I've mentioned in this video, and I'll see you around. It's going to be a good April. Bye, everyone.